Welcome back to me yapping again. I'm taking a break right now. It's October 16th. I was thinking that I could just, um, let me turn on the light actually. I was thinking that, oh, maybe I can do video diary on top of the morning pages I do, and then on top of the Substack article that I've been writing. But wow, I don't have a lot of time in a way to do all the stuff outside of my work hours. And I also have two projects that require me just working very hard. So I ended up not really doing, a lot of stuff as consistently as I would like. But here we are, 3 days later, after my go to yap around in front of the camera. I'm back. So what happened? Have you ever had the situation where you've been just so sick of looking at the same look in front of the mirror? I've been having short hair since 4 years ago, and I really enjoyed having a short hair, but like it has gone out of control in the sense that when my hair is too long, I just have the urge to want to cut it because it's not growing into any kind of style. It's just like impressionist painting, if you know what I mean. Abstract painting. That's, yeah. So yesterday, it's very funny. Yesterday, my neighbor cut my hair. It was so fun. I've never had this feeling where, somebody comes to your place and then do it. Even though she said it feels very unprofessional for her, I feel like it's so intimate and it makes me feel like it's so special. And I don't have to commute in New York. Like when I used to go to my hairstylist in the city, and they would require me to commute back and forth for 2 hours in total. Because she's in Chinatown, so a lot of times I make it a chore in a way that I would do other stuff like grocery shop or having meals before, and then once I did everything and cut my hair, I come home and then take a shower too. And that would normally take half a day. But yesterday it only took us 2 hours, and that includes us gossiping about neighbors, talking about all the fun things, and then finally getting into the hair cutting. And she actually taught me so many tricks and tips that I didn't know. So it's good to experiment with different hairstylists as well. I felt very guilty before because I've been going to my same hairstylist for 4 years. And the reason that I'm tempted to switch is not only because of the commute, but also I went back home and I got a haircut. And right after the haircut, I felt like, wow, that's the one. Like right after the haircut, there's no need for me to adjust the new me. And I've never had that actually when I was with my previous hairstylist. Maybe a couple of few haircuts were pretty good, but it still seems like a drastic change for me to be familiar with the new me. But realizing that, oh, I can actually get a very good haircut and then still feel like me through another hairstylist. So, when I came back, I also need a haircut because my hair apparently grows very fast. And when I went back to my old hairstylist, because we are so familiar, like she's so familiar with how my hair works, and I just wanted her to follow the same stuff, just trim it, following the same pattern that my hair grows so that it preserves the perfect haircut that I had when I was back home. But I didn't think she listened, and I felt a little bit overlooked. Like it was not like a communication, because she just kept cutting my hair shorter and shorter, and then to an extent I still look cute, but like it takes me a week to adjust and then just to be okay with that, because that was not how I wanted to do. Have you ever had the situation where you want something and you talk to another person and you thought that is fully communicated because the other person said yes and they said they understood, but then in the end it's not what you envisioned. It's like there's some, I have no clue why even after all those clear communication it still happens. And now that I think about it, it actually happened a few times since I run my own company as well. I hired a photographer for my music festival that I hosted in July because I was in need for recap footage content for social media. And I sent him a list of things that I want on paper. Like I was like, do the photos and do the videos. All the photos and videos need to have blah blah blah. Like the venue before the show, during the show, after the show, people dancing, performers on stage, BTS of me. I'm also the tech person, so I will be running my app during the event as well. So BTS of me as well, all the stuff. And then when I received the content, I even told him in person, and that was confirming that, basically summarizing what I just mentioned about photos and videos. And then in the end, when I received the videos and photos are pretty good. And then I only received a few videos. And for that show, it's 6 hour long, so it's quite long. And then it's divided into 3 hour of live musicians and 3 hour of DJ set. And he has been pretty good with the videos for the live musicians, but it's all wide angle, 4K, and there's no close-ups. Even though I asked him, even in person while the show was running, I was like, oh, could you get more close-ups, like medium shots, close-ups for like the hand playing the keyboards or turning the knobs. And then he registered, but in the end there were no videos. No videos of the close-ups, and then it was so hard for my editor to do things. And then because I at that time lost my social media person for some family emergency, so I was communicating with the editor and then was pissed at the videographer and photographer because he said he would, but he didn't. And so there are scenarios like that. So I'm quite curious to see if you also have that kind of situation. If so, how did you encounter, or what are some red flags that you see that can prepare you for the future events? Because I feel like I've done enough, but maybe there are other stuff that I haven't considered, because I included written and verbal, and then try to make sure that they understand my vision as well. But so that's me. And we were talking about the hairstylist. Yeah, so sadly, the last time that I went with my previous hairstylist, she left me feeling a little bit not heard, and it felt like I am like she's doing her own thing and then she's not really listening to me. I think that's my I'm very sensitive towards that part. And when my neighbor cut my hair, she taught me so many things, and then she also communicated well. And there are times where I'm not really communicating in her language because she's an expert in hairstyling, and she would also teach me the terms that I would use. Like she taught me about the term called weight line. It's basically where you have the most volume of your hair. That's the first time that I really heard about that term because my previous hairstylist, we communicated in Chinese. And so basically now, after she cut my hair, this area is where I have the most volume, and this is gonna be my weight line. And then she also told me that if you have a bob and then you have most hair here, then this area is your weight line. And she also taught me how to better take care of my hair. Like right after the shower, I would normally just fluff my hair like this with towel, and then she said it would be better if you use the towel and then just press it to absorb all the moisture. And then the next step is she asked me how I blow dry my hair, and I showed her, which I'm not going to show you because it's incorrect. And she told me that if you were to grab the hair like this and then just use blow dry, medium heat, not super hot, and then just blow dry around the roots, make sure that they are 90% dry, and then you can apply some products. And I've never heard of texture cream because my hair is so short, right? And in order to create those textures and movements, it's better for me to use texture cream. I only have wax for some situations, but I'm very lazy with my hair. But she got me very excited about like actually styling my hair and then treating my hair better. And another thing that she taught me is to use the palm to basically create a friction around here right after you blow dry your hair, or now, like it creates more volume, right? Like it's right here. And then you are basically giving yourself a head massage. How nice. So you can also use that tip for your hair in the future. But I felt very good. Right after the haircut, I was looking at my hair. I was like not as excited, but it's also not as disappointed. And then she caught it, and then she was like, are there anything that are you thinking of? And I was like, I want more movement because it feels a little bit too strict. I'm not I want flowy in terms of the vibe. Even though I told her I also want to be elegant, sophisticated, bold, stuff like that as a businesswoman. So she was able to. It used to be very like straightforward and very just harsh line, but now it's more cut, and then it's less sharp, which is good. So that experience was very nice. And she's very creative, and she just brings good vibe, perfect vibe. And yesterday I was like, oh, I might, because I have a performance to prepare as well for next Friday. I thought I have 2 weeks to prep, but I only had 9 days to prep, and I had nothing. I have a 40-minute long Halloween themed audio visual performance to prep, and for my company I create Vibes, which is a visual engine that creates real-time music visualizer. So basically you can just get the music input, and then everything that you make by either through AI prompting or shader visual effects application, you can create those hypnotic visuals in real time. And so the visual part will be simple because I already have the thing, you would think. And then I also make music, so I'm like, maybe I can just make my own music. But I didn't realize it. Last Friday I learned that I have the longest set. I feel flattered but also nervous, because how do you create such long performance? Because you gotta rehearse a lot, right? But guess what? Yesterday I was so excited after the haircut because my neighbor showed me 2 ways to style my hair. One is like very my daily go-to, and another one is more like a girl boss, more like a biker vibe situation. And I was like, oh, who is she? It's like 007 kind of vibe. And I was like, interesting. So I was wearing that hairstyle. I was rocking that hairstyle while I make the music. So I composed the music within 1 hour. And I also learned additional stuff. I composed using a digital audio workspace called Ableton Live. And I have the Suite 11. So I looked around on YouTube trying to find different plugins to use, but I ended up just using their default one. And I also learned a lot of other information like sidechain automation and probability pack. And then you can just using those two, you can make very simple MIDI sequence and then make it sound very organic and make it sound very human in a sense that like as if you played with the real instruments with different weights. So I was able to do that within 1 hour, and I was just obsessed with trying to listen to it. And funny enough, I sometimes would criticize my creations a lot, which is the curse for being a perfectionist. But with the prototype that I made, within 1 hour, I was able to add different layers on it and then try to listen to it, and I was playing them on repeat, and I was vibing to it because the beats were so good, and then the melody was good, and I was surprised that I would be so proud of this project, because a lot of times once I feel like, oh, this is good, I would want to add more stuff to it and be like, this can be better, you know. So I feel like this is an interesting change, and I sometimes overestimate myself, but this time I underestimated myself because I was able to create a 40-minute long or even longer set within 1 hour. I also spent 2 additional hours to just refine it, but that's also something that's never enough. And next week I'm gonna make sure the visual has more spicy elements or more shocking elements, because right now I've been so familiar with my app, the app that I create for real-time visualizer. I already am so familiar with it, but I feel like it can always be more and more and more, and then I want to have corporations, fitness studios, anything that's related with music. I just want to pitch the product to them so that they can just plug in and play. That's the ultimate situation I want, and then them licensing my app would just be very easy, because right now I'm not that satisfied with my creation as an app, because it's not, there are so much more I can do, but when you start running a business, there are so many other things you are running as well. I used to work with a lot of collaborators, but now I'm like, for some reason I still for some reason when I was working with other people who are not as good as me, I don't feel safe because I can't rely on them, and that actually stressed me out. So now that I'm working on myself and I also know that I can deliver and execute, I don't have that mental stress from other people. So that's a good thing for me. But that also means that I'm the web developer, I'm the app developer, I'm the social media promoter, I'm the marketing people, and I'm also, trying to do sales. It is a lot, but it's very interesting and funny. And I was able to learn so much more. Like on the website, I'm trying to make sure I was I'm almost done with refactoring user authentication. It's quite boring if you are not interested in creating user database and then trying to make sure that every step of the way, including user signing, sign up, login, forget password, reset password. I took it for granted when I was using other web app or like anything that requires authentication. but it's actually a lot of work. And I was refactoring. I was moving it from a third-party service back to a storage service that also has the user authentication. I thought it's gonna be very hard, and then I was even quoting for other contractor. I was trying to get a contractor to do the work because I'm like, oh, this is so boring. I don't want to do it. And but the people that I was trying to recruit for, even though they have the criteria, I just don't feel like I can rely on them. He's from India, and the first recruitment meeting, technically I'm the boss, I'm recruiting, right? The first meeting he was late, and then he didn't say sorry I'm late, or he didn't say thank you for your patience. He didn't address any of that, and then he went straight into the meeting as nothing ever happened. That pisses me off. Yeah. And then at the end of the meeting, he would send thank you note, which is excellent, but then he would constantly send and then ask me for my feedback, ask me for my final decision if we are gonna move forward. Yeah, so that was a little bit not stressful, but it's quite annoying. And then I told him I don't think I'm gonna keep recruiting because right now I'm not really making revenue yet. I know I will. And I also did pay a previous contractor to do the work, but then he delayed the delivery date. And then I also hired another contractor work. The first trial week, we were just trying to fix issues. Like he was trying to fix the issues that I don't want to fix, but I know how to fix. Along with other 4 additional features for the week. And then it took him, and then at the end of the first week, he said he's not gonna do it because he was politely showing me that he was unable to fix the bugs, let alone all the 4 additional features. So it's better for him to just pull out from the project and then have me hire another person. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. But deep down, I was feeling like WTF, because it's a lot of time, like, or maybe I wished he could have told me sooner. Or maybe it's just like, I need to do this again myself now. Because I also do not like recruiting. I used to have my social media person to recruit an editor. The editor was pretty good. And then I understand why business likes to do business with business, B2B, because there are, and I also liked why people like to work in teams. When I'm the one person wearing so many hats, it's like not pleasant that you make all the decisions, and then you also have to be the very careful about the interpersonal relationships. Yeah, but no regrets though. I love running my own business. It's the best thing, best lesson, best growing journey that one could ever ask for, because while learning how to run a business, you also learn more about yourself, and that's so invaluable. Like, you can be in a relationship and learn about yourself, yes, but it's more like the romantic relationship and stuff, you can learn about yourself. But like in business, you have to face your fear. Because I realized that I used to procrastinate a lot, especially when I was working for other people. I was like, I would procrastinate on things that I'm actually passionate about. I would just lie to myself and be like, I'm so tired after work, I would rather just binge watch shows. That's such a waste of time. And now I feel so much alive ever since I run my own company. It's ironic because running my own company basically takes over a lot of my time. It's not like normal 9 to 5, even though I try to make it into 9 to 5 so that I just have a clear cut between my personal stuff and work stuff. But it just feels yeah, I think you know why? It's because I'm doing something that I'm passionate about and I really believe in. All the other projects that I worked for is fun, it's interesting. Like I also learned a lot, but it's not my thing. I think taking ownership of something, no matter if it's gonna be successful, if it's gonna be failing, like or mistake, it's just good that you own it. Um, that also means that owning all your decisions, no matter if they're gonna turn out good or not. Because I did make mistakes in the business by hiring people just to accommodate rather than hiring people because of they are good value add. Like for instance, hiring mutual friends, like friend without really seeing the proof of the work. And there are so many people who are very good at selling and telling all the wonderful things you want to hear. Sounds familiar in a romantic setting? So those are red flags too because they didn't really prove it. They did, like for me, I need to see the work that you deliver, and that will then decide if I will trust you or not. Because a lot of people will show their project, they may be group project, and then because I know some of my distant acquaintance, they would take credits from their team project and then try to, and they are very good at selling, but they do nothing like hard. um, so those are the people you also need to watch out for if you were to, collaborate with people or hire people. For me, that's one of the biggest lessons I learned as an entrepreneur is to read people. See how fun is that you were able to read people and then know your worth. Especially when I run my company, there are so many companies want to make money off of me, even though I'm just only one. They don't know that. But they want to make money off of me, and then that also makes me feel like maybe I should elevate my perception of myself. Because sometimes I would put myself like here when other people may think of me here. But there's also a difference that you have to see for yourself, like if this is too overhyped or if you are underestimating yourself. So trying to find the balance between what others' perception of you and your own perception would help with your reputation and humility, stuff like that. What kind of characteristics you want to go for is your own choice. But I feel like women or minority groups normally underestimate ourselves, and you could say that starting a business would make you realize that you're worth more than your own perception of yourself, because other people would think so much more. Like, have you ever encountered a situation where you would think, oh, other people have been so hardworking, blah blah blah, just by looking at their IG or looking at their LinkedIn, right? That's what others are thinking of you. So if you do the reverse psychology, what you like, your own perception of yourself, maybe you underestimate your not potential, like your capability, like at that moment, at present. So I started to believe in myself more because other people are already thinking that, oh, you're so cool, oh, you run your own business. Do you know why is that? Because if you are willing to take bear the consequences of your actions, and then you just own it, not only own the potential success but also own the potential mistakes you may have, that's the confidence that nobody can take away from you as a person. And running a business or just running anything that you are passionate about, you don't have to be a business owner. Just being passionate, obsessed with something that you are really into, and then just own it in terms of the the knowledge pool that you have about that specific topic, or owning about like the growth that you have, that can help you build a confidence right away. And I'm just picturing myself running a boot camp with my own courses, and I was able to do it because I have enough savings, and I also have a lot of network connections now that I've been in New York for 6 years. And I'm pretty good at making friends, and I love people. It's just perfect. Like everything falls into place very beautifully. And sometimes I'm anxious about, I'm not making money, or like I'm not doing stuff, but I feel like I need to pay more attention about things that I've already accomplished. And then this is something that I need to remind myself from time to time, because I tend to be too focused on the future and planning, because I'm very type J. I'm very J. Yeah. I've been yapping for like 30 minutes, which is double the time. I guess it's because I didn't yap for the past 3 days, but I really enjoyed that. I'm about to go to a Dev and Bev social event where I'm gonna also demo my app and then get more feedback. And stay tuned. I'm gonna make a lot of friends. Bye.